Hey, what's up? This is Finn testing the continuous video autofocus on my S5IIX while I'm filming in 6K open gate, I think just in a regular MOV format. 6K open gate 30 FPS, boom. I'm looking pretty happy with this responsiveness. Now we are still in 6K 30 FPS, but this time it's 17:9 rather than 2:3. 3.3K at 60 FPS. And my phone is ringing, and it's my mum. Hi, Mum. 3.3K, 48 FPS, and it's like 600 megabits per second. I'm not even sure if this is going to work onto the SD card or whether it's going to like be cooked in like a second. So if this is continually recording, like I don't know, it's a V30 card. So I'm going to let this one run for a second. 600 megabits per second because it's also all intra. All intra means that there is zero of that, what do they call it? Like the compression that goes frame to frame. You know how like sometimes, I don't even know how to explain it. Just like each frame is saved individually and none of it is that keyframed MP4 kind of motion stuff. Yeah, that's it. So I'm just going to keep letting this one run at 600 megabits per second, 3.3K 48 FPS, all intra. And now we are in the most high quality 4K 60 FPS option that is still all intra. I think we're APS-C now, surely, right? Does it say somewhere? Cinema 4K, 422, MOV, 10-bit, all intra, 59.94 frames per second, and it's APS-C. Yes. This is the main one. I just wanted to make sure that the top dog settings, which is 4K 60 APS-C, and also 6K 30 full frame open gate. I needed to make sure both of those are having good reliable autofocus with this Sigma lens. I think that's all I really needed to test. I think we're happy. Well, I mean, we'll watch the footage. Here is a different 4K 60 FPS setting. I think it's 420 rather than 422, and it's not all intra. I think it's only 200 megabits per second rather than like 600 or something. But I'm just interested to see if there is any perceptible difference in quality between those two. I'm not expecting there to be a difference in the autofocus quality. Here's an interesting one. Full HD 120 FPS. Right, literally at 120 FPS, is it still doing? No. I think now it's dog shit. Not sure. We're going to do some more of this testing. Full HD 120 FPS. Is it working reliably still and doing a face detection autofocus that I can rely on when I'm making a movie? I was speed walking earlier, but no, this is the kind of thing I'm hoping for it to work. Yeah, no, I think this one is bad. Alrighty, I'm recording 4K 60 FPS in the APS-C mode, and I want to compare the field of view and also the image clarity in 4K 60 FPS APS-C, which is what I'm in right now, and I'm about to do the same thing in pixel/pixel mode, a different crop factor. I don't expect there to be a difference. Now, I am doing the same thing as before. It is 4K 60 FPS in an MOV format, and we are doing pixel/pixel rather than APS-C. Now, I think what the difference is going to be here is that, like, if I'm doing pixels per pixel in 1080p, that's going to be like a way more punched in view. I believe that's the difference here, but I just want to make sure that there was no difference in the field of view when we did that. One more thing, the very last one, I'm going back up to 6K. I've changed it to 24 FPS rather than 30, and I just want to make sure autofocus is just as good in the lower frame rate as it is in the higher frame rate. Lower frame rate could also be challenging for it. I'm not sure. Final note, I'm doing this audio at, I got the camera set to minimum gain, but then there was also another toggle that was standard or low, and I think I've got that one in standard. And then the actual wireless receiver thing up there, I got that set to the medium, and I'm hoping that everything is nice and clear. Here's the last thing I am comparing, just the sharpness and overall quality of the three big recording options, MP4, MOV, or ProRes. Also, I've taken off the wireless microphone, so this is a fun comparison for what the built-in microphone is like. Right now, I am filming myself in 4K 30 FPS. That is the top resolution we can do for the full frame sensor. It's probably what I'm going to do most of the time. This is 4K 30 FPS, full frame, 8-bit MP4. And I'm just going to stand nice and still and punch in on my eyes while I'm standing here with continuous autofocus to compare the overall sharpness between these modes. I know there's more color grading flexibility as I go to the higher modes, and I'm shooting in the normal color profile, so that won't actually be making, like that's not what I'm testing right now, just sharpness between those three formats for a fairly stationary scene. Now I'm doing the same thing again. This time it is a 4K 30 FPS full frame MOV, which means that it's now 10-bit, and there's a high bit rate and stuff. I probably should tell you the megabits per second, so that will be displayed. Hi, so we actually can't shoot ProRes internally. In 4K we count full HD. This is now 60 FPS, so that's kind of cool. This isn't a fair comparison. By the way, the MP4 was 100 megabits per second, and the MOV was 400 megabits per second for full frame 4K 30 FPS. Now this is a 1080p 60 FPS at like 310 megabits per second. Whatever. I believe that's the end of my... Oh, did autofocus not work for this? Let's just do another little test. ProRes autofocus. It shouldn't be worse, would it? Was that just an anomaly? Damn! Do they all suck, or is ProRes autofocus worse? Interesting.